Welcome back to the Xbox Design Lab. This is the next generation of the Design Lab. And first off, we're going to take things back though. This is going to be a throwback design here to the Xbox 360. That's right, you guys saw it here. We're going to throw on some of that old school lime green from the Xbox 360 era. They like to throw that in there. And I'm going to do that right here on the controller. And I'm going to add the gray to it as well. There's gray buttons, gray joysticks, all that. We'll get to that later. But first off, we have the new D-pad on here as well on the new Xbox Series S and X controllers, but I'm not making it gray this time. I'm making it red. Why? Because the 360 was notorious for having the red ring of death. That's right. So we got that represented here with the white body there. We got the gray joysticks and the colorful buttons here, similar to the controller that came with the Xbox 360. We're going to finish it off there with some gray buttons, and then we're going to do an engraving on here for an extra $10. This is a Xbox 360 design. There you have it, and it's looking good, man. Look at that. I mean, that frontal view right there is beautiful. Next up, we have the Battlefield 2042 controller. We're throwing on the Glacier Blue, and then we're gonna on the back there have a military green. We got the bright blue like they like to use with the military and all that. Military green. It blends nicely actually with that blue, and then we're throwing on the orange there. A lot of Battlefield players like to refer to the orange versus the blue as a Doritos. So we got the Doritos represented up there in the bumpers, the orange bumpers, and we're going to throw on the orange thumbsticks as well to match those bumpers. We got some more military green on the front there in the D-pad, and then we're going to darken up the buttons there with the gray, kind of a gunmetal. Almost looks like bullet holes are riddled through this controller. We're going to see a lot of bullets flying out there in Battlefield 2042, and you can do it here with this controller. So there you have it there. The Battlefield 2042 controller is looking nice. The colors are all coming together. Who would have thunk that the orange and the blue and the green would all come together like this? But definitely is giving me those 2042 futuristic vibes. I like it a lot. Now we got Halo Infinite. Speaking of the future, we got the future of Halo here. We're going with the military green body of the controller there with a blue back. All right, we're gonna back the blue, but also let's not shoot any black people in the back. Let's do that as well. So here we have a red bumper to contrast with the blue back there, red versus blue, if you will. That's what we're doing in Halo. So we're gonna actually storm gray the thumbsticks in the D-pad, and then do the buttons gray as well. We're almost blacking out this controller here, really darkening the front of the controller here. We're going to engrave it with Halo Infinite. That's the new Halo coming out. It's going to be free multiplayer for everybody. And so there you have it, man. It's looking just like a warthog in the front there, Master Chief, and then red and blue in the back. We got the triggers going and everything else like that. Matching the front buttons, you gotta love that. It's Halo Infinite, man. You can't go wrong with that there. Now we have Back for Blood. We're gonna go with the blood red, or pulse red as they call it here, with a black back. What I like doing is doing a different color on the back, so in the front there you get a little strip, you'll see, of a different color. If you change the back color, you can see it from the front there. So we're going to do something kind of special with the triggers here. We're going with that electric volt green. This is going to be more like a zombie puke green. Alright, just a little accent there. I'm matching the triggers with the thumbsticks. Another thing I like to do from time to time, we've got the red D-pad there, which kind of looks like a medic's, the medical red cross there with the black buttons. It's looking very zombie-ish, if you will. Back for Blood is coming to Game Pass, man, for free. But this controller is not going to be free. This controller will cost you, with the engraving, about, $79.98 there. You can get it by July 20th. You can get it before Back for Blood comes out, and then you can play Back for Blood with your new custom controller here. You gotta love that. Next up, we're going to do the Scorn controller. This is an upcoming game here, and this thing is looking so gross. So I'm going to try to make the grossest looking controller I can. We're going with the tan, the flesh color here. There's a whole lot of flesh in this game, and blood and guts and all kinds of who knows what going on. So we're going to try to replicate that here with the triggers. Almost looks like a tongue or something. The triggers are kind of licking out there, and then the D-pad almost looks like, I don't know if I can say it, like an anus. or something. I mean, they got anuses and scoring and all kinds of nasty stuff. It looks like the things protruded out everywhere. So we're trying to go with like a skin kind of nude, kind of sick, kind of perverted type of controller here. So this might get banned. I don't know if Xbox will actually allow this to be made, because look at it. Just look at it here. It looks like an abomination. It looks like something that should be not allowed, if you ask me. But we're doing it. Now, this was suggested by a viewer here. This is going to be a Batman controller. So you got to go with the black there with the logo yellow from the Batman logo there on the back, which, like I said before, will show through on the front there. And this is a very important part here, the triggers. You got to make the triggers black because they look like bat ears, guys. They look like Batman's ears. You got to go with the black bumpers as well there up on top. And then we're going to do gray thumbsticks, black, yellow, gray is what makes up classic Batman to me. Batman from my day, and we're going to black out the buttons there as well. The dark Knight, if you will. But I like going with not the black ones, but the gray ones with the black letters, because it throws that black and that gray in there. And that is what makes up the Batman color scheme. And then the engraving, I thought it'd be cool if we put in Wayne Industries. That's a Batman's company there from the movies and what have you. So there you go. It looks like this came straight from Batman's cave here, or Wayne Industries assembly line. So there you have it, man. That's a Batman controller if I've ever seen one. Check it out there if you will. And then we're going with the Spider-Man. The dude that suggested this, I saw he was a Spider-Man fan as well. His little icon was of Spider-Man. So I thought, you know what, we got Batman. Let's get Spider-Man in here as well. I know this is a game that's exclusive to the PS4, so I don't know if Xbox is going to appreciate me making a Spider-Man controller. But you know what, guys? It's time to come together. It's time to cross streams and everything else like that, and really just, not be too partial to one side or another. It's time for gamers to come together. So we're going to make a Spider-Man controller for Xbox here. Who would have thunk it? So you got the red, white, and blue with the dark blue and everything like that brings out the Spider-Man. We got the, it almost looks like webbing there on the D-pad, the white D-pad and the white buttons. Almost looks like somebody shot a web out onto the controller there. And this is going to be Peter Parker's special controller there. We have his name on the engraving. And there you have it, guys. That's a Spider-Man controller. Check it out there, $79.98. It's looking good. Gotta love that. Yeah, we're gonna do a flight simulator controller. So this one is gonna be inspired by the airplane on the cover there, a white big old jumbo jet with some blue accents here. So we got a lot of white going on here with that lighter blue there with the storm gray. There's gonna be storms in Flight Simulator. It's got real-time weather and everything. So you gotta put on that storm gray to represent that. But not only that, but it also looks more like, equipment or tires from the aircraft. Looks more like an aircraft part, if you will. Instead of that stark black, we got a little bit of that rubber gray, like the rubber on the runway there. And then we're gonna add in the buttons that are very easily legible. You want to make sure pilots out there can read their instruments, so you can see that there with the white letters, clear as day. And then this is gonna be the Flight Simulator controller here. Take off with this thing. Flight Simulator is coming to Xbox consoles for the first time soon here in July. You can get it on Xbox Game Pass there. Check it out. We got a beautiful, beautiful controller for a beautiful, beautiful game. Now we got Stalker 2, the heart of Chernobyl. So the inspiration for this is, Chernobyl, the power plant nuclear reactor disaster here. So we're going with a very industrial look, but with a little flavor of radiation, some, electric volt there. Green kind of represents that radiation, that nuclear waste and all that type of stuff like that. So we got that there with the dark buttons. kind of a dark controller, but with just a little accent there of that green. Almost looks like the nuclear reactor symbol, or like you're staring down right into the reactor that busted up. So that's going to represent the new Stalker 2 game coming out here. That's coming to Game Pass as well. And as you can see there from the back, that green really pops out there like the radiation's going to be popping out from Chernobyl for another, 3,000 years or something like that. Hopefully this controller will last that long. Now, last but not least, we got a Starfield controller. This thing is going to be inspired by the patch you see in Starfield. And we haven't seen much of Starfield, but we do know that there's a colorful patch, so that's where the inspiration came from. So we're going with the orange triggers, the red bumpers, the blue back, the white body, and then the yellow sun D-pad there. And then the orange thumbsticks there to match the triggers, as I like to do, with the dark space gray, if you will. This is black on gray, but I like to call it space gray. And there you have it. That's a Starfield controller if I've ever seen one. So we're going to add the engraving right onto it. And there you have it. Look at that, man. It's ready for space. It's ready for exploration out there of the stars in Starfield, which is also coming to Game Pass. So we have a lot of designs here for you to choose from. You can design yours on the Xbox Design Lab. Let me know which one was your favorite. And until next time, this has been Rusty Pfluger, over and out.